Hello, welcome back. We're going to work on another signature for our album. And this is going to be for our page 4. So let's get into all my pieces here. This is what I've used for my base piece. When you trim this, you're going to want to hold on to the trim to this piece. But it does measure at 9 1/4 across, and then it measures at 8 5/8 in the height. And we're going to have 2 side panels. They are each measuring in at 6 inches by 8 5/8 in their height. So you're going to have 2 6-inch wide panels, one for the left, and you're going to have one for the right. I'm going to go through this, and then we'll go back through it again when we get to the actual pieces. So I told you to save the trim on this. I'm using, so look for this beautiful piece here. And on the reverse side, it's a lot lighter. It has this big black scroll that runs through it, but we're going to use this side, and we're going to be cutting trimmings off of this. Oh, I think I just tossed one of them over there. Goodness sakes. So on this piece, your scrap that you have there, you're going to cut 2 1/2-inch pieces. One is going to go across the bottom, and the other one is going to come in across the top. So 1-inch pieces, top and bottom. I've rounded my corners, and then you're going to fit a piece in here, leaving just a little bit of brown so that it kind of frames in. My piece ended up measuring at 6 3/8. So you're going to do that for both panels, your left and your right panels. So that's what you're doing here, okay? Now when you turn these over, you're going to find the piece that is a wooden piece. This is up here in the corner, this is in the middle, and the back side is white because this came out of the 22 maxi pad. And then you're going to trim these. They should be pretty much identical, 6 3/8, 2 of these. Let me give you the width. And I'm trimming mine at 5 3/8. And again, these are going to go in the middle. In your scraps, you should have a very long wood strip. You're going to cut 4 1-inch pieces because we're going to frame again here the top and the bottom. So that covers this. So I'm going to take you through the next step, and then we'll be ready to actually put everything together. You're going to have a bottom panel that is going to measure at 6 1/8 by 8 1/2 inches, because it's fitting a piece of paper, so it's not going to be quite as wide. And then your top piece, 8 1/2 inches in its width, and it's going to measure at 7 1/8 in the length. No, in the, got myself all screwed around. Okay, so in the length, going this way, you're going to be at 8 1/2 inches, and then here, I don't know why I'm struggling with this, is going to be 7 1/8. You are going to trim, I got that upside down, There is a wood paneled piece. The reverse side of it's kind of the gray wood panel. And you're going to trim from it. I do believe we used that it is left over from a previous cut. So let me get in here and take a look just to be sure. Well, I had left over a strip that was about 2/3 of the width of that paneled piece. No, it wasn't this piece. I'm confusing you and I'm confusing myself. It is a long wood grain piece, and I'm sorry, but there's only one of, here it is, here it is. It's this piece. On the back side, it's got the gray washed board. So it's this piece. You're going to cut 1-inch strips. You're going to want to cut 4 of them, and then you're going to cut them to fit the upper part of this, rounding your corners. And then there is this beautiful piece, and it is the front of the main pack page. So it's got the logo on it. So you're going to cut this to trim in between these two pieces. Mine measured at 4 3/8. So you have 1-inch pieces of that wood grain, and then this piece, and it will frame it in top to bottom. All right? And then you're going to do the same with the bottom piece. That wood grain, you're going to have 2 pieces that are 1 inch, and then you're going to have this center piece off that same piece of paper, and this is measuring at 3 3/8. So these two will look like this on the inside. All right, that one's on the top, the smaller one's on the bottom. And then you're going to have a small piece that is going to measure 4 7/8 by 3 7/8. Oh, gosh, dang it, let me back up here. I'm trying to remember all the steps here. You're going to score these at 1/2, and you're going to score them at 5/8. These side panels were scored only at 1/2 inch. These top and bottom panels will be scored at 1/2 and at 5/8, both of these. And again, these side panels will be scored only at 1/2. This small piece is going to be scored at 1/2 inch and at 3/4 of an inch. It's because it's going to sit here to the outside and it needs to wrap around this bottom piece. So using that same paper, you're going to cut a small piece that's going to fit in here. These are going to end up being 1/2 inch. And you're going to do the same thing where it's just going to come in here. It's going to, if I can get it down there without, there. And then this little piece is just going to line up so there's just a little bit of brown peeking through, and then this one's going to come in here. It'll look better when it's all glued. This little piece here is 3 inches by 3 3/4 inches. And it's just going to sit right in here. Okay? So this is going to be on the very outside. Then this one, your 2 internal panels. So we've done all of these. Now we're going to flip a couple of these over so that you can see what it is I'm hiding. All right, so this is going to close this way. This is going to close this way. This is going to come over and close. This is going to come over and close. And then this is going to come over and close. I'm flopping pieces around. Oh, back up. Let's open it all back up again. No, I need to do it this way. I so apologize. You're going to find, hold on, you're going to find this piece. I'm trying not to be. Okay, you're going to find this piece of paper, and we're going to do some cutting on this. The cat, you're going to cut the cat. Well, that's not what I had planned. So that you're coming just up the inside of this book, the stack of books, and you're just going to trim it all the way up. That ended up being a 3 3/4 inch piece. So you're going to trim 3 3/4 in, make a straight cut. Now what I've done with this guy is I have come in, I am getting to where the arthritis in my hands are getting, it's hard to use my knife, so there's a line right here, so I brought my scissors in on this line, and then I very carefully cut the cat out. I mounted him on brown cardstock, and then I've actually popped him up so that when we put him back into place, he will actually look like he's sitting on this shelf, and it gives some dimension to this. Then you're going to cut a piece of that brown that we just got through using, but you're going to use the reverse side of it, the gray washed side, and we're going to make a belly band. My belly band, and I'm not real good at measuring these things. Sometimes the logic doesn't work for me. It's going to be at 9 5/8, and it is going to be 2 inches wide. You're going to score it at 1/2 on both ends, because this is going to go on our base page. And then this is going to sit on here like this, and it will be our belly band so that you can place things in and under, larger items in and underneath of him. Okay, so we'll come back to him in a little bit. Then on the same piece of paper, and I hope this helps, you are going to then trim straight across under here, because you've already cut this off. Let me get this a little bit higher. You've already cut this off, so you have 2/3 left. So you're going to come in and you're going to cut right through here so that you end up with 2 pieces. This is going to be our top, and this is going to be our bottom. Where I ended up trimming my pieces at, this piece from the bottom down here, trimming it up, it was at 5 1/2 inches. So you're going to trim up 5 1/2 inches, so you'll end up having these 2 pieces. Then this is going to go on that bottom flap, and we're not going to do anything special with it. Okay, I'm trying to put everything back together. But this top flap, I went in and I cut out these 3 images. So the top flap, I cut this one, and this one out, mounted them on cardstock, mounted them on foam risers, and then they are going to be set right back into their respective places. This is going to be the top that we're going to get to see. All right, so this is going to sit in here like this. Now this piece here, this is this piece right here. Okay. It's just, I really wish this had centered a little bit more and I would have used it. So I didn't. So I turned it over to the piece on the back side. And then I went in and I cut out one of the other quoted sayings. And this one is "Where the dreams come true," because this is going to come in on the bottom. And we're going to have a magnet down here. Then I went to my ephemera pieces, and this is this large gold filigreed piece. So I've cut this brown cardstock to help support this frame. And this is just going to simply slide in here. Beep, 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 beep. Come here. And get centered as best as you can. Get that in there somehow. Anyways, this is the intent. And then this is going to go on here. Now this piece is supposed to be good, it's going to come off. I struggle getting this tape off the back of these, but you'll have tape on this, see? And it will fit on here, and then it will self-adhesive all the way around. So this is going to be your bottom piece. All right? So that gives you kind of a structural overview. I like that side better. And we can now start putting things together. All right? So early on, I gave you all the information, so you should be able to go back and play the first part of this video if you've gotten any confusion, and you'll have everything that you should need. If I have failed and have forgotten, please message me down below, okay? So I'm going to set that one aside. I'm actually going to pull all these pieces off here because now we're going to get back to the cat. He's going to sit in here on a belly band. Okay, he's just going to be a nice big belly. So you can tuck things in behind there. So I'm going to go ahead and start putting this together. Now I need to try and find my center. I'm not good at this. I know this is supposed to be a centering ruler, but I have never figured it out. Okay, so I'm at 9, so I'm going to be at 4 5/8 would be my, should be my center. So if this is, so 4 5/8, so it should be right about there. So 3 3/4. I need to come this way just a bit. So now I'm at 3 5/8. 2, 3 5/8. Yay! I got there. Maybe a little unorthodox, but I got there. Okay, and now I'm going to glue this piece down, and I do apologize, this video might be a little bit longer, but I want to make sure that I've got everything covered. So I've got a 2-inch belly band. And then we're going to center, we're actually going to center this piece. Okay. You know, I know I can glue this, but I am just really nervous about the glue spreading, so I'm going to use some tape. Because this I can pull up if I make a placing mistake. I can't do that if I use glue. Okay, so now we're just going to carefully center so there's the same in the height and the width. And this is going to get glued on. What I tried to do, and I've failed, is put a little dab of tape where I came in with my scissors and the little backing fell off. So you can't, if you come in on one of these seams, you can't even see the scissor cut. And you can just make sure that when you do this, I don't care if you're using a paper trimmer of any kind or if you're using scissors, you're always going to have a bit of a raise on the end of your paper. So when you do this, you want to take something, flatten out those ends, get those fibers flattened so that you can put it right back together again, and it's right on a dark line and you can't see it. So I'm going to glue in my framework. At least that's my philosophy, and that's how I do it. You know, you may be watching other videos and find a different way of doing it, and that's cool. Everybody has a different technique. Okay, I'm going to come down here. And just gently place him in. And then I'm going to not sure where that paper trim showed up, but it's okay. And then we get the wonderful honors of pulling all this tape off the back of these foam pop-ups. So bear with me, I'm slightly off camera doing this. I don't think you need to see me pull tape. The technique is pretty simple. All right, and then when you get him all done, ready to go, you're just putting him right back in place. Make your necessary adjustments before you commit the tape, and there you go. Give the tape a good burnish. And now he looks like, to me, that he's actually sitting on the shelf, and it gives some depth to this portion of it. So now we're going to go to our two side panels. We're going to have our left and our right. And so I am going to start with putting these two pieces in place, and then I'll center this piece here. And remember, these are 1-inch strips. And then your centerpiece should be off just about at 1/16 of an inch. All right, and then this piece is just going to come and sit right in the middle of the two. Goodness sakes. Got a tenuous hold on that, and it decided it wanted to try and flop about. Okay, I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to repeat that with these two other pieces. I'm going to put them on. Now, I will say also that if you're not the type of person that likes to cut images out, you don't have to. And then this piece will sit right in between them. Okay, and then I'm going to put this on. And remember, it's just a 1/2-inch score on these two pieces. And there we go. So you have a nice photo here, and you have a nice photo spot here. Okay, so now we're going to play with these pieces over here. We're going to get the tops and the bottoms put in first. And then this piece. Now I will tell you what I do when I'm placing these in. I've tried to cut them the same width, but things happen. You're off a hair. So I'm always going to try to line up the edges here, and then hopefully these line at the same angle. And if they don't, at least it's on the inside where the hinge is, and it's not going to be as noticeable. Or you can get in there and fuss around with making it exact. Just be sure if you're inking edges that if you do that you go in and re-ink your edge if you have to feel like you need to trim it down just a little bit. Okay, I'm going to turn it over, and we're going to repeat that same process with these pieces. So down here in this bottom corner, drop that down. Some of this might be off frame, but you should still be able to see what I'm doing to the project because I need to bring it a little bit closer to me. Okay, I need to pull that before it sets because I got it in. I want it a little, just, this is where I get fussy, where I try to be fussy. Okay. And so then this piece is going to come and ride in here like so. All right, and then we're going to put this piece on. All right, there we go. Okay, so now our two panels are on. And here's where you're going to put your photos. This is your big belly band for tucking items, like so. Let's go ahead and let's work on this bottom panel. It's going to be a little bit easier. Okay, so we're going to take and we're going to put these pieces in first. The 1-inch panels. And I just want to come right up to that score line. And I'm going to go ahead and sit this one in. So it's a lot better if I do it with putting these strips in first, but I'm just getting kind of ahead of myself. And I'm going to turn it over and I'm going to put this one in place. And then we can put it on. Now this, you've got a 5/8 score and you have a 1/2 inch score, and we want to try to be right in the middle, so we're going to use these two outer, we're going to use these two pieces to help center this piece, okay? And I want you to come right up to that 1/2 inch score line. Now you're going to have a little bit of pushback because of the belly band, but that's to be expected. Okay. So this is what you have so far. So let's go ahead and let's put the top piece together. But we're only going to put this piece on, these pieces on this side, because we've got a magnet we need to set. So we're going to work on that. It's getting too bulky to keep playing on top of it. Careful that you don't lay your paper on your score lines. It'll just make things a little more difficult. And I want to make sure that I got the word scripts going the right direction, so it's going to lay this way. Sneak in here with this. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and put this top panel on, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to use these two ends to help center this piece. And we're going to just sneak right up to that 1/2 inch score line. Again, you're going to have some resistance, but you're going to push there first, and then you're going to press the rest of this down. And I am way off. I see it off right there. I wasn't paying any attention, so let's do some undo surgery. Let me try this angle here. Okay, this is making me nervous. I am. How come I keep getting off? I don't understand. go. Goodness sakes. That was a bit of an ordeal. All right, so I'm going to take all these pieces, because this has got to go down next, because this is our flap for holding and closing everything. And I am going to find, because I'm not going to go through that again. Where's my pencil? Eh, I have no idea where my pencil mark is. Oh, there it is. Okay, I'm going to just make some ticks here on this. So I'm at about 2 1/8, and I'm going to move this over to 2 1/4 to 2 1/4. Well, come on. And then you're going to come right up to this 3/4 inch mark. And I really hope I stayed at 2 1/4. Yeah. Yeah. Good job. We want this hinge to wrap around the base. We don't want it up here on top. We actually want it to wrap around the base. So this is on the bottom. And then we're going to take our magnets. And I'm going to drop this about a 1/2 inch, because I don't really have all that much room here at the top. Make sure this hinge is nice and straight, and this hinge is nice and straight, and then commit your magnets. And then I'm going to put just a thin strip of tape so that there's no chance of them doing a walkabout. Not that they ever have, but that's because I do this. All right, so let's go ahead and get this piece put on upside down. So I'm going to glue this in, and before I put it down, I got to remove that. Okay, gluing around all the openings. I don't want them to pop up. And here's my other little tape mark where I went in on a seam, and here's the other one up here. But you don't even notice it from the other side. And I'm not going to worry about taking them off, because right now would be a gooey mess, but I used such a thin tape when I did that, I don't need to take the back off. I gotta hurry up, some of this is starting to dry, I can feel it. All right, so I'm going to put this in. Like I said, I have these mounted. And he's just going to sit right back in his little hidey hole. And then I'm making a mess over here. I was trying to be nice and neat, but that's just out the window right now. And then he's in place. we're just going to set this right back in where it's supposed to be. And now I am going to work on the inside and I should have moved that up just a smidgen, but oh well. I'm going to be going right over that magnet. You got a nice little spot here for... Now I'm not happy about this placement because I can actually see the magnet right there, but there's nothing I can do about it. It is what it is, and as long as I don't draw attention to it, nobody will see it. Okay, let's put this on. We're almost done. It's easier to burnish by turning it down. You know, if this really bothers me, in the end, I could just cut another piece, lay it over this, and just butt up to this, but for now. Okay, I'm going to center this on here. Trying to keep the same here, 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 and here, and it needs to go this way just a smidge. Oh, well, it's going to get covered. I didn't ink the edge of this, but it's getting covered, so I'm not going to worry about it. And then there's a little bit more on the top and the bottom edges, and that's to facilitate this framework. Ouch. Just like that. Wonderful. Okay, let's turn her over. Let's get some tape on the back side of this. And we'll get it in our album. I'm going to put 3 because it's long and it's big. Okay. So this is going to come in here like so. And I am going to turn this. Bring it right up to the edge. Line the other two edges up. And I'm going to sneak in here and I'm going to take this off first. Oh, that's not the one I wanted, but I'll just get that started. Okay, let's give her a good old burnish. We got her done. We got it in here. Whoops, I better be careful because I'm moving my camera. My table is not as steady here in my craft room in the house as it is out in my shed. But my husband's recuperating, so I've got to be in here. So I'll just do firm, gentle, and hope not to jiggle that camera too much. All right, so there's our insides. We close, put that down. Whoops, this goes down first and then this one, and there you go. We got another one done. The next one will be this back panel. I'll see what I come up with. Until then.